for me, the thing that I love is helping people. So within my own business and within Hidden Spoons, I love just making sure I'm helping people.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of CrohnsCast with me, Johnny Gray. Tonight's episode, we're looking at following your passions and how that can help you, particularly when you're struggling with a chronic disease and looking for that work-life balance. So joining me tonight is Ijmal, and he's talking us through how his passions have helped him. I know you are massively busy in what you do and setting up. I know whenever we were looking to set this up, you'd mentioned that you're running several different things at once.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, how do you manage to push through on those days? And when you're setting up Hidden Spoons, running your blog, and your other ventures that you're involved, what inspires you to keep going, and how do you manage it?
The funny thing is, when I was starting Hidden Spoons, it was last fall, so like September, October, and around that time I was actually quite sick, and my iron level, my ferritin level was down to a 2, and yeah, so you're supposed to be anywhere above, I believe, a 40 to 400, and I was at a 2.
That's rock bottom, that is.
Yeah, so I would be working really hard during the day, and I think the reason why I was working so hard for Hidden Spoons and my own business and everything was because those are things that I'm really passionate about. But the thing is, when I get home from work, I would just crash. It was like 5 p.m. and I would just be out for the rest of the day. I wouldn't be up until the next morning. And so for me, the thing that always drives me and allows me to do these things is my own passion for it. But that's not to say that's the case for everybody. For me, the thing that I love is helping people. So within my own business and within Hidden Spoons, I love just making sure I'm helping people. So sometimes it can by default put me on the back burner a little bit at times, but I always make time to rest. These are things I never used to do for myself. So self-care is a little bit more important to me now. And if I'm not able to do something, or if I don't have the energy for it, I won't do it. Whereas before I would. So now I do what I want. And then if I'm out of energy, I won't push myself beyond that. But before I would do what I want, and then I would do what other people wanted me to do as well. And I was running low. So yeah, it's finding that balancing act between. Part of it is like, if you're doing what you love, it doesn't so much feel like work. And then, but yeah, it is that balancing act between looking after others while also looking after yourself. You can't let one out. You do want it to your health or self-care to outweigh a little bit than helping others, but it's always a balance. It's a give or take. So you can't let yourself ever fall to the wayside.
Do you think your diagnosis has helped you invest more in your passions and be more focused on making sure the things in your life are stuff that you're passionate about as opposed to anything else?
Yes, 100%. Because, I took a little bit of a break. So I told you guys what I did in school and what I did in my career. One of the main things I love in my career is doing architectural design. And so I had stopped doing any of that after I was diagnosed. And I started working an office job, which was like 9 to 5, which was a little bit mundane. I didn't really enjoy it so much. But I've gotten back into the design world about a year ago. And since then, I had started my own business. I've hired staff because it's been growing. It's just been a really insane response that I wasn't expecting. So in the past year, I've had my projects show up in magazines. One of my projects was up for an award for Best Interior Design in Canada. So it's been, and I've realized that I'm putting all my energy now into the right things, and it's now lessening my stress, which is helping me cope with my illness, which is yeah, it's this really interesting relationship I'm having now with the things I choose to associate myself to.
So does it feel like it's almost creating a beautiful cycle as opposed to the alternative, which would be a vicious cycle?
Kind of. It's almost like this is a new cycle that's running parallel to my illness, and so it's like separate. So that illness is still running, but this separate cycle is almost, it's either going to make that cycle of my illness larger, or it's going to minimize it. And I feel like if you're doing things that you love, eventually they will overshadow the negative in your life, which happens to be my illness for me. Yeah.
Awesome. So before we started chatting, or before we started the interview, you mentioned that you become quite involved, and I first came across you, I think, through Crohn's Colitis UK. What was the name of the Crohn's Colitis in Canada? Is it Crohn's Colitis Canada, is it?
Yeah, the Crohn's Colitis Foundation of Canada.
You mentioned that you've been heavily involved with Crohn's Colitis Canada. Can you just let me know what's happening with that? And I know you've had some big news from there as well.
So about 2 years ago, I started volunteering with them for what we have here is the Gutsy Walk. I know you guys have a walk in the UK. I can't remember what it's called, but it's similar.
Yeah.
Where there's like a what is it? The walk called there?
I think it's just called Walk It, or it takes Guts is the movement, and then it's called Walk It.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys have Walk It. We have the Gutsy Walk here in Canada, and it's Canada wide. So I've been volunteering with them for the past 2 years, and then recently I was approached by the current president of Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Calgary, about basically taking over his presidency. So I guess that's a nomination in a way, and luckily the person that's behind me to kind of nominate me is the current president, and he's wanting me to take over for him. So the elections are on September 26th, and so I'll be finding out if I'm elected as the new president then. It's up to the executives. And then also Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of Canada, they're flying me out to Toronto next month for 4 days for a conference and an award ceremony. There's a conference called Guts, so that's what they're flying me out there for. Yeah. And
are you going to be speaking at the conference, or are you there as a guest?
I'm just there as a guest. Yeah. I think it'll be my first year there, so I don't think I have anything to speak on there. But I am talking because I'm also the ambassador for Lifebulb, and they have talked to me about hosting a Hidden Spoons event in New York, because that's where they're based out of. So that's a discussion we've been having for the past few months, and then they're having an IBD event in November, which they've shown a little bit of interest of me coming out there to speak at that one. So yeah, there's a couple things in the works, and we'll see in regards to like this chronic illness and IBD world and different events.
Hey guys, I think you'll agree with me. That was another really insightful episode from Ijmal, and it's really great to see that he's been able to find his passions, and how finding his passions helped him to develop Hidden Spoons and his architectural business, and really set him on a really positive path. We're not saying that finding your passions is going to be easy, but it could be a big help to helping you sort out what is a priority in your life. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. That way you'll get updated every time that we upload. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.